Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. Here we go. Let's break down the market. It looked a lot better than yesterday. At least we saw some green today and a little bit of bounce back, but we'll see if it's going to continue. So we'll be going through everything and rocking and rolling and seeing what's going to be popping and what's not going to be popping for tomorrow. So all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. I hope everybody had a great day, caught a couple of little bouncers here and there, and locked in some quick profits. And here we go. Let's take a look. That PRFX was way up today. That was crazy. Another one that I didn't even mention that was way up was TPET. We had recently looked at that, and we even looked at it after it split on November 15th, and that ran way up today. So that was another one that got cruising TPET. And what did that do? That went up to 85 to 459. So, I mean, a ton of them that we've been looking at have all been popping up. Our ELAB ran this morning, so I know Barbara was happy. Barbara was happy about that one right there, and that was that ELAB. That one did run up there. And that one did what? It got up to 378. It opened at 333, got up to 378. It's at 235 now. So that one did run up for some people to get out of and make a little profit there. So that was good to see. And we'll get cruising and see what else is happening here. So here we go. Let's take a look at that PFRX because that one did go crazy. And that is, if I type it in right, isn't it PR? Hold on. Can't even type PRFX. Pain reform. I totally wrote it wrong. I wrote it backwards. It's PRFX. So don't mind that first one. It's supposed to be PRFX, not PFRX. But yeah, PRFX, the pain reform. And this one ran up like crazy today. And we were in it. We were talking about it before it even split and after it split. So it had run a few times after it split already. And we had caught it. So it ran today from 234 to 1663. It's at 862 right now. So that was a nice runner right there. And how about TNXP? That one appears to be setting back up. It was trying to run back up. It was up of about 20 cents again, TNXP, and it did run like a monster the other day. And it ran from, 41 to 72. It's at 56 right now. So that's TNXP, and that one did run up a little bit more, and it looks like it's about to get into the top. So keep an eye on that one for the morning, because that one is looking pretty good right there. That PRFX, what's that going to do tomorrow? That one looks like it's going to run up even higher too. Hold on, let me see this after hour look. Yeah, that one possibly could run up even higher. So I would keep an eye. It did come down $2 in the after hours, but that don't mean anything to these things that are running like crazy. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that PRFX in the morning as well, and TNXP and XLO. This thing was getting cruising here. I think it started to move in the after hours. I think it was up today and then really got moving. So what did it run to? 93. It was up like 7 cents, and then it really got running and went 88 to 169. It's at 137. So keep an eye on this XLO, because this got moving in the after hours and could continue that momentum tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in the morning and see what it wants to do right there. And that's XLO. And CADL is another one that we had looked at, Candel Therapeutics. And this one's bouncing back up and looks like it wants to run up higher. So it did run not long ago on, if I write it in right, CADL is what it is. And it ran, what was it? December 11th from 5 to 1460, and then today it ran 662 to 1038, and that is that CADL, Candel Therapeutics, and that one is looking pretty good to try to continue its way up tomorrow, and it has some resistance up there at the 12 area, so watch for that one to continue up. That looks like it wants to continue that momentum. ALBT is that one I kept thinking was a Avalon flooring company, but it's definitely not. It's a real estate company, ALBT. We looked at this for a while and caught a few poppers off it, and it is setting up right here. So keep your eye on this ALBT unless it already popped. It's looking really good though. It ran up today 283 to 430. It's at 352, and it looks like it could get moving there. So keep an eye on that ALBT because it's looking pretty solid right there. And how about that TRUG, that True Golf? Let's see what that's up to right now. True Golf Holdings. That's curling up and looks like it wants to get teeing off again. So I guess they're in for another 18 holes here because it looks like it's going to curl up and run. So take a look at this True Golf and let's see if it can get teed off and back in the fairway and running again because that's what it looks like. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I know that other one is what, SPGC. I'm gonna, yeah, that's it. Sax Parente Golf. I just knew it was a golf one. And that one is, it was up a little bit today, and I know it's curling up here, SPGC, because I was keeping an eye on it and looking at it, and it did run 34 to 40, and it's at 34. So it opened and closed around the same price, but it is curling up. So keep an eye on that one as well, that SPGC. And I know it's on here somewhere, but I just remembered that with the other one, TRUG, because that's a golf one, True Golf Holdings. And Buru, this was moving today, and we looked at it yesterday, and it looked like it was going to get running, and Buru ran up 36 to 46. It's at 41 right now, and it's curling through. Look for this to continue up tomorrow. So that looks like it should continue right there. And how about this AISP? I know we were looking at this before. It was on my watch list, and this thing got running up today. I think we even looked at it last night. AISP, that Airship AI Holdings, it went 391 to 545, and it's at 427. So that thing got moving today. So it looks like it could try to get into the top right there. It's right there where it could. So we'll keep an eye on that AISP and see if it does want to get in the top. NDRA. This was getting curled up today and moving as well. NDRA has a lot of space too. So keep an eye on this 432 to 554, and it looks like it wants to get moving as well. And it did split back in like November at some point, November 7th, and now it looks like it wants to run up to like that $6 area. So keep an eye on NDRA because that looks real good as well. And CDIO, remember I told you some of these lower penny ones and small caps will want to run if the big caps are pulling back. So these will be the opportunities. So you just drop out of your option calls and pick up some penny stocks real quick, and it'll last for like a week or so, and then they switch back over. So you run them up and run these things like wild while you can hit them, and then you go right back to your old trading style. So yeah, you just play the market the way it needs to play, and you just pivot around the way it needs to pivot. And obviously, crypto is pulling back hardcore as well today. That was a serious dip right there. So we'll go over that. But CDIO, let's look at that because that's going to curl back up. It's up a little bit today, and it wants to run up some more. CDIO 94 to 131, and it's at 108. So that's curling up, wants to run some more up there. And how about this PGL? This one could finally be getting PGL. PGHL. How about I add all the letters there? PGHL is curling up. This is one we've been looking at, and it took that huge dip, 109 to 140. It's at 122. And watch this bad boy because this wants to get cruising, guys. PGHL, and it is a Hong Kong company, and that's that one that took that major. No, this is that one that ran up like crazy that day to like 1135 to 210. So keep an eye on this bad boy, PGHL, because that one looks like it's setting up as well. And OKLO, we looked at this, said it was going up today, and it did go up. It was up almost $3 at one point, and it looks really good to continue up. So keep your eye on this bad boy as well, OKLO. And yeah, it looks like it's about to squeeze on up there past that 22 area. It's at 2083, and it got up to 2185. So keep your eye on that because that looks like it wants to run up as well. And there's a lot of great ones on this list. I just marked down like almost all of them. So tons of opportunities on these smaller caps. Probably not going to mark much on the big caps, but that's all right. HURA just kind of pulling back, but is setting up there. So let's see what it's about to do. Let's see if it gets curled up again and really gets moving right here. And that's HURA. And this is one that we had looked at before. It kind of ran up, but it looks like it actually wants to pop up here. So we'll keep an eye on it and see if it does want to pop up. Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. I'll look at that in the morning, HURA. And how about that PW, which is that power right? And I think we probably called the bottom right out on that one. That was probably yesterday. We'll keep an eye on it, but it does have to get back over that 121. It got to 121 today. So it's going to try to push the limits and just watch for any dips or anything. But yeah, it got down to what 105 today, and it's a low yesterday. Well, maybe today was its bottom, a little lower today than it was yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on this PW power right. We've been looking at it, and we'll see when it's ready. Because like I said, once it gets over that 121 with some momentum going up, it will get running back up into the twos. So we will keep an eye on PW and LGHL, the good old lion right here. It was running up today, and then it kind of pulled back. Let's take a look and see exactly what it did. It was 19 to 20, and then it came back down to 15. It's at 16 right now. And like I said, it's been running up the last few days. It just kind of went flat, and it doesn't even look bad right there. I mean, at 16, it could look a little better. It could be up a little bit more. It would be a little better, but it doesn't look terrible. I'll say that. It could have popped up a little higher too, but almost staying between this channel and getting set up. So maybe it's not going to cross through this time tomorrow. And then it's going to wait about a week and then really get running some more. So it did pop up when we were looking at it off that line, and maybe we see a little bit of pullback for one more setup, and then it's going to really get popped up. So that's LGHL. It's just the way it looks right now. And how about the Cheetah CTNT? This was running up as well today and then pulled back and went a little flat. CTNT. So yeah, this one went 372 to 385. Its low is at 305, and it's at 320 right now. It's coming down to hit the line, but could easily roll off of that and get cruising there. So we'll keep an eye on the Cheetah, and that one does look good and pretty set up to try to go up. So we'll keep an eye on that tomorrow as well and see what the Cheetah wants to do, and JAGX as well. Let's look at JAGX. JAGX, and this one was up a little bit, but just kind of setting up down here. And this is probably its bottom down here, and it's probably going to make a base and start curling up real soon. What was it? 84 there, 84 there, and 86 today. So probably around 84 is going to be its bottom. And so look for it around there. It's at 87, and I would assume it's going to try to start curling up relatively soon here. So we'll keep an eye on JAGX and just see what it wants to do for the next day or so. And again, next week is a short week with Christmas Day and all that. And then the next week is New Year's, so 2 short weeks coming up in a row, and then with the market all over the place, and we may have a government shutdown by tomorrow night at midnight. So all kinds of good stuff happening, huh? So we'll just be keeping an eye on things and seeing what's happening here. But yeah, that's JAGX, and like I said, could be trying to get curled up, and we'll look at all three big cats and see what they're up to and see if they're really running. XTIA, this one was trying to get moving yesterday. It's still in a pretty decent spot, but had some decent pullback today. XTIA, that aerospace, and again, it looks real good. It went from 4 to 5, and it's at 4. But yeah, it still looks really good to me. So I would keep an eye on it. It's just getting set up right there. And that one, I'm telling you, wants to get bouncing relatively soon. Just marked the wrong one right there, XTIA. I marked the lion, but that's all right because that's kind of set up too. But anyway, XTIA not looking bad, and I'll keep an eye on that in the morning. So keep an eye on that. And this Fami's getting ready to do something, guys. So this one's setting up. Just watch for any dips because we know they love to dip and rip right now. So just watch for any dips. That bottom's probably around 26 cents. It's at 28 right now. So yeah, just keep an eye on it and see. I'll see if it's trying to really get cruising yet, or if it's going to take another week or so to set up. And again, we're going to have a couple days off, so the market's going to be jacked up, and we might even end up in a government shutdown. So, like I just said, a lot of cool stuff happening. So just trying to keep in mind what's happening here and what's going to be going on and what we could be looking at. So like I said, FAMI, just probably another week or so. So we'll keep an eye because that's going to be a great setup right there. SNSE, this one is not looking bad at all. I think it pulled back a little bit today. If I remember, 45 down to 42, and it's at 44, and it does. It has that pullback look, but it's going to just pull back a little bit more, it looks like, and get really set up here. So it was trying to run up. It did a little bit the other day up to that 50 and 2 days ago, and just couldn't keep the momentum. So I guess it's going to have to come back to this 40 area. It's around 43, 44 cents right now. And so we'll just see if it pulls back any to that area and see if it'll get bouncing off. And that's SNSE. And I bet if the markets are looking pretty decent, it'll get bouncing right there. And that TPST we've been looking at, it was up a little bit today. And it is trying to get out of the basement. I'm not so sure it's going to right at the moment, though. It's definitely giving it a try. So I'll keep an eye on it and see if it wants to. If it doesn't, obviously, it's going to pull back a little bit more probably. It's trying to make that base right there at this bottom at like 69 cents. And it's at 74, right around that, 74, 75. And like I said, it's trying to make a base down here, but we have to keep an eye on it because if it can't bounce out of that basement down here, it's going to get bouncing back down into the basement, have to pull back a little bit more. So definitely keep an eye on TPST. And honestly, it's just some of these that are going to get caught in the wrong spot at the wrong time if there's a government shutdown. So unfortunately, we've seen this, not a government shutdown before, but we've seen other things happening, and they get caught up at the wrong time and the wrong spot when they really want to pop off, and something stupid happens and then they pull back and have to set up. We've seen it before. We watched it happen during the summer. I forget what the event was. Something happened and they were doing it then. So we'll see what happens, though. Obviously, we're keeping our eyes on things. RGTI, let's look at these. These all pull back pretty good. All these computer hardware and quantum ones, they were way up, though. I mean, when they run like that, you gotta assume they're coming down. They were way in the top, and they've been running in the top. So QUBT's way down, came down like $10 today, maybe even a little more than $10. What other one? QBTS. This one pulled back some too. That one came way back out of the top. And QMCO. This one came way down too. So all of them pulled back pretty well. And that just means that's going to be another nice opportunity when they get set up again. So the QTUM, the Defiance Quantum ETF, that one pulled back. And IONQ, this one was actually just kind of hanging out right there at the line. So not so sure if it's going to pull back tomorrow or if it wants to bounce off that MACD line, but it was like the only one out of all of them that was just sitting there. SEDG's getting set up. It was down a little bit. It was looking much better earlier. It doesn't look terrible, but I'm just saying it looked much better earlier. I was looking at it, and again, it's right going to trade in between this 1382 and 1477 and take some dips like it did here to the 13.15 and $13 area. We'll see if it rolls off that MACD. It should get rolled off. We're hit it tomorrow and we'll get a little idea, but it should stay up in there. Looks like it's pretty strong, and then it has to stay up over that $15, 1505, and it could get cruising, and I think it will. SEDG. And again, the market might dictate if it wants to jump up right away or if it wants to pull back and have to set back up there. So unfortunately, if a couple of them are going to get that unfortunateness with the market conditions being crazy, will throw them off a little. And it'll happen to some of the bigger caps and small caps. It just happens to some as they're getting momentum. And we've seen it before, like I said. And I'll point it out, and you can see it on the chart when it starts happening there. LCID, this one's about to run up some more, so keep an eye on that Lucid. And we were in nice and early, and like I said, this thing is looking good to try to set up 20 and 50 are meeting up down here, and they want to get rocking and rolling. So that is Lucid. And SPGC, we went over, that's at Sax Parente Golf, and it is trying to curl up there and looking better. And we looked at that when we looked at True Golf, TRUG. and SOBR, sober safe or something like that. This thing was trying to get curled up today. We were looking at it last night, SOBR, and it did run up a little bit, 88 to 220, which was pretty nice, and it's at 104. And like I said, it's just getting set up down here, so it was in a good spot. We looked at it last night, may have a little pullback because it ran up today, so we'll have to look at it tomorrow. Maybe it keeps some momentum like some of these have been. But I definitely have to look at it tomorrow just because it popped up the way it looks. And and yeah, it could go either way to be honest with you. So I'd have to look at that bad boy. And that's SOBR. And we can look at that in the morning. EYEN. That's at Inovia. We were looking at this as well. It was up a little bit today, and it is trying to curl up out of that basement, and it is looking pretty decent. EYEN. So keep an eye on this one because EYEN looks like it wants to get moving. It was up there today to that 11, and it basically has to stay up over that 10 right there. So keep an eye on that iNova, and because yeah, it looks pretty good. And then once it gets up there, it can run up to the 30 cent area, I bet. And it did take a nice dip, and it's been running down here and looking like it wants to get moving there. So I would keep an eye on it. I will. I'm going to mark that bad boy and MAXN. Let's take a look at that one. Maxon was up a little bit more today, and it is curling up really nice, guys. MAXN. So we'll see. It looks like it should try to roll through that MACD and even get into that channel, get up to that 768, and try to bounce in there and try to get moving. So we'll see if it bounces in that channel or if it ends up hitting that MACD and coming down. It's right in that spot where it could do either or, and you can't even tell. Honestly, I can't tell. If I had to guess, I might even guess that it's going to hit that MACD line and pull back a little bit and then get set back up to run up. That's probably what my guess would be. I don't know. It looks pretty strong on mine and flat there. I don't know. That one's, I would have to take a coin flip and just flip it and take a guess, honestly. So we'll look at MAXN and see what that's up to. Some of these are just a little tougher look today with that craziness going on and pull back yesterday and a little bouncing today. That's SAVA, SAVA. We're just watching this thing pull back each day, and we'll find that bottom because, again, it is getting set up there, way up there, too. So this one took a major dip here, and we'll definitely find that bottom for it and see when it wants to run. Maybe it will wait for the 20 to get down there. It's at 575, so it could take a while, but we have a while, but it is way down there, so it could be bottoming out as well. So I'm going to keep my eye on that SAVA because that could get moving. And how about Walgreens down 35 cents? This is where it looks like it could actually pop off of. So it'll be interesting tomorrow. It's up a little in the after hours, and yeah, we'll see if it wants to pop off this line right here. And again, probably be it too. So if it does pop up, it's going to pop up a little bit. It might not even get back over that 1030 area. It might get like into the 1020s and then probably come back down. They have their earnings on January 9th, and yeah, it's not looking good, and they may be selling this today. CVS, yeah, they dispensed people were talking about they dispensed the opioids unlawfully, but we were already talking about that. And yeah, but Walgreens not looking too great. I like that they are still announcing $50,000 donation matches, and that's pretty good. They're probably going out of business, and they're still doing that. But anyway, who cares? That's good. Walgreens, WBA, and yeah, we'll keep an eye on it and see if it is going to go out of business or get sold off or whatever. CVS, that was way down. Tried to start moving back yesterday and then took another dip down today. So again, was trying to get out of that basement. It's still setting up here and just not ready yet. So they did get hit with a nice lawsuit today or yesterday or maybe both days. I don't even know, but they definitely got in trouble for CVS dispensing the opioid drugs unlawfully in a profit push as a U.S. Suit. So I know we were talking about it yesterday as well, and today it kind of came up again. So CVS in some trouble there, and we'll see what happens. But that's way down there. That stock is way down, and again, it does look pretty bullish, but it could stay bearish if it gets caught up in something like that. And AEMD, I think this is a medical device company. Let's see what this is up to. This one ran up yesterday, real nice. AEMD. Yeah, it ran up yesterday like 37 to 89, closed at 49, and then today it was 54 to 38 and it's at 46, but it does look like it's trying to pull back right here. And yeah, it'll probably have to get set back up to be honest with you. So it might bounce around, but and it might bounce. It could even come down into the 30s, and it can bounce up into the 65. So it has some room where it can bounce around for sure. But I'm not so sure it wants to bounce up real hard tomorrow. But we'll keep an eye on it. It's way up there right now. I'd feel like it. If anything, it's going to stair step up a little bit or come back down of some. So AEMD, I'll look at that tomorrow morning as well and see what it wants to do. BBAI is that Big Bear AI Holdings that ran up recently and it's coming down. Look for it to hit either the 20 there, 273, or that 260 area. So that's BBAI. And let's see what it wants to do. Yeah, I would see. I think it might even come through that 270 area. And like I said, watch for it. It may pull back some. So BBAI. So we'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, it has some support to 20 right here in the 270s and hard support in the 260s, but then that 50s down there at like 213. So if it gets cruising down, which it's pointing right now, it could really go down some. So BBAI, I'll look at it tomorrow. We'll see if it wants to bounce off that 20. That would be best for it at that 275 area right there. So that's the big bear right there, and I'll look at it. Here's one that all kinds of people were talking about, and we had looked at HRYU way before. Didn't even really know that they changed names, to be honest with you. And anyway, but yeah, they did change names, and they are GITS apparently, Global Interactive Technologies. It's a South Korean company, Internet Content and Information, and it was down. It ran around quite a bit today, GITS. So let's take a look and see. It went today 28 to 49. It went down to 26. It was its low, and it closed at 32. And everyone seems to think this thing's going to get wild. I mean, could it bounce up tomorrow again? It certainly could. It just doesn't look that crazy to me, to be honest with you. But I mean, what it have in volume? 9.5 million, nothing even that crazy there. So I mean, it's up, but not that. It's not in the million, like hundreds of millions or anything. Um, I mean, that's like one of them ones that could go either way. It hit the top and bounced down. It looks like it wants to try to stair step its way up, is what it looks like. But with today's look, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It did run up quite a bit right there. But yeah, it just doesn't. It looks like both ways to me. I'll look at this in the morning. We'll look at GITS in the morning. We'll see what it looks like there, and I'll try to give you a better look at it. It's the first time we're looking at it in a while. Again, it used to be HRYU, and and yeah, they changed their stock ticker. And like I said, we used to look at it when it was HRYU. It popped up a few times there. So it is a South Korean internet content and information company, and it's at like 32.5 cents or 31.5 cents, somewhere in that area. And we'll look at it tomorrow and actually see if it wants to pop up there. It's giving me mixed reviews right there. I'm not going to lie. And yeah, I just can't say yes or no either which way. Every time I go back and forth, it looks pretty decent to try to want to bounce up, but it's not confirming anything to me. So again, I like to know exactly what I'm looking at, and it's not telling me exactly right there. So a lot of them aren't, so it's not the only one. And but yeah, I'll look at it tomorrow. I wrote it down for tomorrow morning, and we can take a look at that GITS and see what it wants to do because it had a large response today. A lot of people looking at it, I guess. So I'll keep an eye on it and keep you guys posted with that one. APTO, let me see it, 17 cents, and it looks like it might have popped up here in the after hours. It was trying to get in the right spot right here, APTO. So it looks like it is trying to pull back some. and so we'll see what that one's doing. Let's see real quick, APTO and oh yeah. I know Peninsula Life did post a message earlier about the GITS because I guess it was getting pumped up by somebody and somebody was pumping it up there. So I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I can definitely say, like I said, I'll look at it tomorrow and you can tell it got pumped. That's why it's a hard look right now. So I appreciate that, Peninsula Life. And he was looking out for people because again, you don't want to get caught in these big pump ups and again, when it has that look like it does like that, that's why it's giving me that mixed look because I can tell what happened to it and I didn't even know it because I actually have it on a watch list and it was still on HRYU and it never switched over. I had it on my stock watch list there. I have a ton of them on there and yeah, I can just scroll through and see a bunch that we keep track of and see what's going on. But yeah, I still had that. I had no idea it changed its stock ticker. And so yeah, I saw a bunch of people talking about it today and looked at it and I was like, oh, that thing just got moving. And with that look, it's really tough. So I'll let you know what I think tomorrow, but it could go either way and it could definitely come down. It could run up early in the morning too. So if you have it and you need it to get up, I would be up early on that Webull and hope that it's bouncing up there. So that's that GITS. And like I said, at 7 a.m., I'll definitely take a look at it. I wrote it down and I'll definitely let you guys know what I think. That is not a problem. I'll definitely look at it. You know that. So APTO looks like it's just pulling back a little here. I don't know. Did it bounce up? It did. When was that did bounce up, I guess in the after hours because it went 18 to 49. It's at 39 and it looked like it closed at 17 cents. So on FinViz, I have it at like 17 cents. It does say there that it went up 19 cents in the after hours to 37. Again, I don't always pay attention to that. I just look at the chart and yeah, I look at mine and another example right here on APTO of how different it is. And again, it just ran up in the after hours, and my trend spider shows it perfectly. And then if you look at FinViz, you have no idea what even happened. It looks flat in the basement. You know it's out of the basement. It definitely is. And it shot up like a rocket, up like over 100%. So, and just another example of like I say, how great the trend spider is, but I mean, it's just bizarre to me that the FinViz has that look and just doesn't change it or make their service better. I just don't get it. So anyway, who cares? We'll just keep cruising because trend spider gets us right through and we see everything right with that perfectly. So it's all good. Here we go. Let's keep going. That KULR, that was running up again today, and it is in the top, so I would be a little careful with it right here. 260 to 353, and again, I would be very careful trying to chase that bad boy up there. That could definitely come back. It's been up at the top a few times, and that's just one of them looks like it could come down. Maybe you'll get lucky in the morning, or it'll run up in the morning on the Webull. But that's at KULR. So I would take a look at that real early and see if it's running for you. Um, what's that say? APCX, that is APCX. App Tech Paint. Oh, we looked at this last night. I forgot to post about this. This thing ran like crazy too. APCX. Anyone even get into this thing? Because it ran like a wildfire. 60 to 149. It's at packet 64 cents. I actually saw this running up. I totally forgot about it. I'm not sure if it's going to run up tomorrow. It has a crazy look, and but it does look like it could run right up to the top again and get wild. So I don't know. I mean, it did the same thing the day before on the 18th. It went 60 to or it went 54 to 95, and then today's 60 to 149. So we'll keep our eye on this one too because this one's running around like crazy, and it is. It's just got that wild look. It ran up like crazy. You can just see like it was nutty. 195 million in volume right there. So APCX, keep an eye on that one right there because that one could get moving again. And how about this MTVA? We'll look at that. I think it came up MTVA. Yeah, Metavia. Um, I think it used to be what? This used to be NRBO, I believe, somebody said. So I'm not sure when they changed theirs, but you can see it's fairly new because they don't really have much news right there. But it was something because it goes back quite a bit. So they did change something, but like I said, that's what someone said. I'll take their word for it because I'm not looking. I don't. It's only $1.76. It did take a nice dip down here, and guess what? It is setting up down here. It just poked its head into the basement. MTVA, and wow, that thing ran up yesterday. What does that not even show it? Yeah, that doesn't even show it. That's so bizarre. I'm telling you, so weird. Anyway, the thing ran yesterday from like 225 to 420, I'm assuming in the after hours. And then today it opened at 177 to 183, but it does have that pullback, but it's way down there and could easily try to bounce back up. And that's what it looks like to me. It's in the basement, like just like I said, poked its head. You don't even see it pop up from yesterday on FinViz. But yeah, it should be trying to set up. Maybe not bouncing up tomorrow, but that one is, I think, going to try to get set up right there. MTVA. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Again, it used to be NRBO, I believe. Let me see. NRBO, nothing comes up. So yeah, something like that, I believe. And VMAR, this one we were looking at, and this one was trying to get running up today a little bit. It is curled up and looking pretty nice, I'll tell you that. VMAR. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. That bottom was the other day. You can see that on the 17th, which was on Tuesday. And that bottom was, what was it, at 130? And today it ran 150 to 159 down to 148, and it's at 150 now. And it does look good to try to curl up. So keep your eye on this VMAR because it does look like it's trying to get itself out of the basement sooner than later. So it is trying to get set up right there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And I know that was on one of the lists recently. And how about OGEN? Somebody mentioned this thing. OGEN, that thing is setting up pretty good. I must say that one looks real good right there. OGEN. Let me make sure that's all. It looked like it ran yesterday. It didn't show it on. I guess it does. Let me see. What is this date right here? December 19th, and yesterday, yeah, it doesn't show yesterday's run up. Yesterday it ran up in the after hours, I'm sure, 33 to 77, and then it closed at 42. So then today it opened at 38. It got up to 45 and it's at 36 right now. And just a little pullback right there, but it's not looking bad, I must say. Looks really good on FinViz, but that's not the exact look, so I can't take that. But it doesn't look bad right there for OGEN. And like I said, it did run up yesterday quite a bit, and it did pull back. It could go bouncing right off that 20 some more. So I can look at that. It did have a good look. I mean, it was a nice little setup right there. So, yeah, it just says what 41 to 44, and its low is 34, and it's at 37 here. It's just so crazy that it's just all over the place. But yeah, it doesn't show yesterday's at all, and it did pop up, so it kind of messes the chart up because it looks like it wants to still run up here from today. But if you look at it and you see that run up from yesterday, you're not so sure about it. So that's why I am going back and forth and looking at it. But I'll post this and you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'd have to look at this tomorrow to see if it actually wants to bounce or if it wants to come through the MACD. But again, that's why I do like to have at least two charts to look at because you got to know the setup, but you also have to know what set of charts you can really trust and know are accurate because that's the most important thing too. And so yeah, we got it down. I mean, like I said, I pay for the FinViz Elite. It's just way off, and then the TrendSpider is just it's just the best tool. So between the two, we get it down with no problem. But FinViz used to be much better, and it just is not as good anymore. And again, it's just they haven't kept up with all the changes with the markets, and they just didn't keep up with it. That's for sure. So they were left in the dust. OGEN, like I said, it's I'll have to look at it tomorrow just because it has that weird look from that run up yesterday. So I will check it out. And XTIA, I believe we already looked at it. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but we'll look at. Yeah, we did. I know we did. Um, Looks like it's trying to hit that bottom, but not looking bad right there. So, yeah, we'll definitely. It just had that pullback, but it does look really good. Honestly, it's trying to still curl up XTIA, so we will keep an eye on that. That NUKK, that one did run up some more today, and honestly, it still doesn't even look too bad right there. Yeah, I mean, 45 to 80, and it still could run up a little bit. Just be very careful trying to chase it, though. It might be an early morning like pop up, but yeah, be very careful. That one ran like a maniac, so holy cow, that's wild. NUKK. So there you go with that one, but that was a wild one right there. Could have made some real good money right on that guy. WIMI, Weemy Hologram. This one was down. It looks like it just bounced down. Let me see. WMI, WIMI. Actually, it ran 120 to 150, but came down to 95. And it was setting up perfectly right there, it looks like. So this one might be pulling back. I'd have to look at this and see if it wants to bounce back up. But WIMI, yeah, it looks like it might pull back, but that was a nice run up right there. Good setup right there. So yeah, that was decent, but that could be pulling back. And let's look at QNRX, that Coin Pharmaceuticals. Let's see what that's up to. It was up 8 cents or so today. It's trying to bounce up. Let me see what it's doing here. QNRX. Let's see. Did run up yesterday to 109 from 60 to 109, and then today 61 to 105. It's at 63, and it does look like it's trying to curl up there and trying to get moving. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on this. It looks like it's trying to set up CNRX or QNRX, Coin Pharmaceuticals or something like that. Yeah, QNRX looking pretty decent right there to try to curl up and get moving. Has a couple weird looks and setting up. So we'll keep an eye on that bad boy. QNRX right there. And that GRRRG with three R's, Gorilla Technology Group, is running up. We've been looking at it the last few days, and it's just keeps running up here. 1234 to 1358, and it's at 1316. So GRR is running up right there. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And it does look like it could stay up there in the top. It's up there at the top, and it looks like it could stay up there. So we'll keep an eye on that. And QSI, Quantum Psi Incorporated, that one was pulling back the last few days. And let's see if it's going to bottom out. It may come down to that 107. It's at 129 QSI. And yeah, it could easily come down into that 10, like the 105, 109 area, somewhere in that area, 110. So keep an eye on that if it wants to pull back a little bit more, and then you have to we'll catch the bottom on that one and take it up, but you don't want to jump into that too soon. NLSP, NLS Pharmaceuticals. This one is curled up out of the basement today and ran up real nice. NLSP. Yeah, that one is looking good. 203 to 279. Yesterday it was solid too, and it just has to get up over that 250 area and it can get moving. The 258 area, it got up to that 279 and it is looking pretty solid. So NLSP not looking bad. Open 203, close at 226, and yeah, not looking bad. Earnings coming up on that December 31st, and a ton of them on December 31st. Holy cow. It seems like every company we look at is the end of the year. And I mean, that makes sense, I guess. So there are a ton of them at the end of the year. NLSP is one of them. KWE, let's see what that Key West Microsystems doing. It's an aerospace defense in Canada. It did run up the other day, and then it just pulled back here. It looks like it's getting set up still again to try to run up. So KWE, yeah, I would look for it to try to roll off that MACD, get back up over that 72 area, and then it can bounce back up into the 90s. So Keep an eye on KWE. It does look like it's trying to get set up there. Just make sure it rolls off that MACD right here, and it will get cruising. So that's what you're looking for on KWE. And on SPHR, let's see what Sphere Entertainment's doing, pulling back right there. Yeah, that was trying to cross through, and a lot of these are. That's what I was talking about earlier. They're in them spots where they're hitting that MACD and they pull back. That's exactly what this is. So SPHR, let this pull back a hair, and then it'll bounce off that bottom and finally get through right there. So you can see that one right pretty easy. NUE. Nucor Corp. This one's been taking a nice beating right here. It's driven down Nucorp NUE. Yeah, this is a really good one down here. Let me just make sure we know exactly where the bottom is, but it's a big cat. It's a pretty big one too. It's a steel company. And does look good for a setup up there. It's at 115, and it had traded recently. Just ballpark at like one in the 158s and even as high as 160. So this one NUE could be good. And let's look at that X steel since we're looking at this and talking about steel because that one was way down as well from like some fouling. Remember they were trying to do something with some other company. What the heck was it? Um, what the heck? Nippon Steel, yeah. So apparently they weren't allowed to merge with them or something. So I don't know whatever happened with that, to be honest with you. We never even looked at it, but it was definitely pulling back, and it looks like it's about to go back up, and it's setting up, and it's down here at that's 3172, and that this is X, the the United States Steel Corp, and its bottom today was 29.79. It's at 30.56. And yeah, it could be trying to get bouncing back up off of that bottom. So keep an eye on it. And this one was up there in the 38s and it's back down into the 31, 30 area. So yeah, keep an eye on X right there. And that's another steel company just like NUE and SGMO. Let's see, Sagamo Therapeutics. And this one is pulling back, but will it roll off that MACD? That's the question right there. It ran up today, 272 to 371. It ran up 99 cents right there. And it closed at 240. And it's just flat on that MACD. And pulling back. And it looks pretty good to try to run back up. I would look at this in the morning, see if it wants to bounce back up. SGMO. This one could be a nice little bounce play in the morning right there. And that's SGMO and KTTA. What is that? KTTA. Let's see what that's doing down here. That's way down, and that looks like it's going to be bouncing off the bottom and bottomed out today. Let me see that bad boy. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Actually, it looks really good right there. 244 to 268, and it's at 267. I would keep an eye on that one. KTTA looks like it wants to move tomorrow, I would say. And how about Z Car? Let's look at that one because that was trying to crawl up. I remember we were looking at it before and it had bounced up relatively quick and then we stopped looking at it and it was probably in the beginning of November and it was probably like November 5th it had popped up there and then it's been pulling back and then today it did pop up again, Z Car, and we weren't looking at it, but that's okay because it looks really good. It jumped up 132 to 620. It's at 247 and looks really good. This is at Zoom Car Holdings, and yeah, this thing looks like it wants to get zooming. So keep an eye on Z Car right here. I think that one's looking pretty decent to try to run, so I'll look at that one in the morning as well. CNS it is. I know that for a fact. CNSP, CNS Pharmaceuticals, just a little flat right there. CNSP. Yeah, just it went through that channel right there and it's just a little bit flat. Let me look. CNSP. Let's see what the setup looks like right here. And yeah, I mean, it does. It looks like it just got into that channel. I'd have to look at this tomorrow, CNSP. Maybe it gets in here at like 11 and wants to run up to that 12 and then get over 12 and it can really get moving. So that's what we're going to look for on CNSP. So I'll keep an eye on that one. And let's look at CHPT. CHPT, that's Charge Point Holdings. And this is getting set up, guys. So let it just pull back a little bit. They have to be like perfect right now again to get absolutely flying. So we'll just wait for this one, but it is getting set up. It's got a few days, maybe a week or so with all the holidays, and CHPT will get set up. And again, that's Charge Point Holdings, and we'll keep an eye on that one. SXTC. Let's see. SXTC, this one is getting set up, guys. It's just been bouncing down there, hitting that line. It's in that spot where it could pull itself up and get cruising. And yeah, I would keep an eye on this tomorrow. SXTC, one of these China small cap companies, and it does look pretty good for whatever reason. Something's up there, and I would just keep an eye on that bad boy. SXTC is looking a little odd to me. And I like that odd look, to be honest with you. So keep an eye on that. And SIDU could be bouncing back up into the top. It never came out. Just looks like it came down to close to the bottom, to the top line, and it wants to curl back up. And that's that Cydia space. And, we have Cydia Space drones all over New Jersey. I saw them out before I came on, and they are out some more. And again, this state act, the FAA, this is the most bizarre stuff ever. So the FAA said that the drones are not allowed to fly in certain towns and different airspaces. They'd be restricted. But it also just said that it was, like just not commercial ones. It just said like the public can't do it. So I have no idea. Are these things still allowed to fly around in these airspaces, even though they just made it restricted? Does anyone know what's going on? Because if the FAA is making that, doing that because they're afraid of these drones, like it just makes zero sense, to be honest with you. It's so bizarre. It would be nice if they were just like, yeah, there's like a nuclear warhead. Everyone just look for it, or just whatever the case is. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on. Just tell the damn people and just let's figure it out. Holy cow. Enough with the drones flying around for months and trying to and everybody guessing and making things up, and that's all you can do because no one has real facts, and so everybody's going to assume things, and then you got to put some pieces together and try to figure things out, and that's what people obviously do. So just tell people, be honest with them, and then they don't have to do all that, and you can address and make a solution. But yeah, I have no idea. It's bizarre, but yeah, we have Sidious drone space going on in New Jersey. It's wild. So this thing does look like it's curling back up, and we'll take a look at it because it does look good, and it probably will get running back up pretty well. And that's SIDU and IMNN. Let's see what that's doing because that looks really good too to try to curl up. That's setting up real good, guys. IMNN. Oh, it ran up already. There you go. There's another example. Here you go. Ready? 85 to 89. That's what it tells me today on FinViz. It opened at 83, 83. Its high was 88 and a half, and its low was 81, and it closed at 85. And then boom, I'm like, wow, that looks great. No shit, because it went 83 to 127, back to 86. So yeah, you still have a great opportunity here. But it did. It ran way up there real quick, and it looks good. And yeah, I would keep an eye on this too. But it just cracks me up that you can just see, I can tell most of the time when they're gonna pop like that. And there's just another example. It just FinViz doesn't show you the correct chart, and then boom, you click it over to the trend spider, and you can see. I knew exactly. I was like, oh, well, it popped right there, and but it's still setting up really good. IMNN, so we'll keep an eye on that one. DATS here. That chat, we had looked at this a while back, and looks like it's just pulling back there. So just let it pull back, and DATS it is. And yeah, just let it pull back right there. We'll look at it and see if it's definitely trying to get set up. It went 170 to 189, and it's at 165 right now. So I'll take a quick peek at it tomorrow and see if it is. It's way down at the bottom, but we'll see if it's trying to get set up or if it wants to pull back anymore. So I can take a look at that one, DATS. Let's look at our buddy Holo here, HOLO. Holo. Let's see what it's up to. Um, it is curling up right there, and it is looking pretty good. We were saying it was trying to base out, and then the other day it ran up, and yesterday it pulled back. And I would say Holo is trying to make that one more curl up. It looks really good, and they have earnings on the 31st on New Year's Eve. So take a look at Holo because it could be curling up, and it'll probably be the last time we really. Although if it runs up and gets up over this 20 up here at like 177, it could get cruising into the twos. So definitely take a look at it. HOLO, it could be worth it. Holo, and we'll look at it tomorrow. HAO, this is another one of them small cap China ones. And it looks like what that 20's at 15. We're at like a little under 12, I believe, right here. HAO. Here we are. Yeah, like 11. So we're right there. It's right on. I mean, it's man, this thing should be trying to pop off. I don't understand why it's really not, to be completely honest with you. Besides, yeah, I mean, that shouldn't really matter right there. It's ain't holding it down really. It's not really holding it back. And it's got a nice base and it keeps bouncing off that bottom. It's out of the basement. It tried to roll off. I'll have to look at this tomorrow and see if it's continuing to set up right here. It did pull back, and we'll have to take a look and see if it is trying to pull back or if that's at bottom today, because it did get down to that like a little under 12 cents. And yeah, we'll have to look at HAO tomorrow and reevaluate that one. BHAT is that Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment. And we were saying the other day it wanted to run. And here it goes, guys, because it's going to start moving. It started to move, I think, today. BHAT, 12 to 13, and it's at 12. But yeah, that one's looking really good, BHAT. So watch that one. Gets back up over this 14-cent area, can really move. So keep an eye on BHAT, Blue Hat Entertainment Technology. And let's look at RIME. I think this was pulling back. It was a penny, and it looked like it was just coming down into that basement. It curled through the other day, RIME, when it ran up. And yeah, it was just kind of pulling back. I'm not sure what's going on with this one, but it did run up for us the other day. I'll look at it, see if it wants to bounce back up again and get moving once again, but it is just a little pullback. And how about JL? This one recently split, and it looks like it's trying to set up right here. JL, it's called J Long Group. It's a Hong Kong company, and it does look like it's trying to curl up really good right there and really good right here. And they do have earnings on the 31st too, but this thing wants to jump up tomorrow right over that 298, and got up to 295 today. And JL does want to run, so keep an eye on that bad boy because it wants to get ripping right there, and it can run easily up to 370 something. So keep an eye on JL right there because JL wants to be bumping. And TIVC, Tivik Health Systems, this one is setting up. It's just going to hit this bottom. This one's going to be a really good one to set up, guys. So we'll keep our eye on this, and it could be getting set up as early as tomorrow because it is right there. But I would expect it to probably run like next week or, in the next week or so because of all the days off and how wild it'll be. And who knows about a government shutdown and all that great stuff. So, but this one's setting up. Hopefully it don't miss its chance right there. INUV. Let's see. And this one's curling up and should get into the top. It's just been running up right here. INUV. This one's been running, like I said, been running up yesterday and today. Yesterday went 39 to 46. Today 38 to 46. And yeah, it looks like it wants to continue to run and get into that top. It's hitting that top line, but should break right through right there. So that one looks like it should continue some momentum. And APCX. and that's at AppTech Payments, and we already looked at it, so there you go with that one. And I don't think we had any laptop lowdowns or our laptop list today because I'm pretty sure laptop travel's super busy. But let me go through the messages and check. We can actually run through some of the ones that look really good last night on his list because I have it sitting right here. So we'll just do that real quick. I'll go through the list real quick. We'll go through some of them and see what he had because he had some great ones last night. So we'll look at them. Let's see what that NCNA did. That was down 4 cents. This is just getting set up, so we're going to keep an eye on that one as well. NCNA and FGL. That was a founder group. I didn't know what this was doing, but it did bounce back. And TEM. Let me look at that. TEM Tempest. That one is just still pulling back and hitting that bottom right there. Let's see. TEM. Yeah, it could try to get bounced soon. Oh, excuse me, getting tired. I don't know why. Just running around doing all kinds of holiday stuff, I guess, and trading crazy amounts of poppers every day. I guess that'll make you kind of tired sometimes, but it's beautiful. I love it, and just keep them popping. And I don't know, the government shutdown could be a little wild. We haven't had one in a while, so who knows what's going to happen with that, but we'll see. And but yeah, they want to pass ridiculous spending things and give themselves crazy raises and all kinds of nonsense that us taxpayers, I mean, I wish I could give myself a raise like that. That would be nice. And yeah, people just don't get raises like that every day, and these people are just putting these things in the bills and trying to pass them along before they get out. And it's just wild what goes on in politics. You know, I say it all the time, and we won't go down that road, but just some crazy stuff always in politics, that's for sure. But let me go ahead and look at the messages and see what we're looking at. And let's look at that rich tech. I meant to put it on there for you. My bad, ding dong. And here we go. Let's look at it. We did say that the earnings were coming up on New Year's. I did look. They have earnings on 12/31, and then they have earnings on 2/12 for some reason. It says on mine right here. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but they do have two earnings pretty close to each other within 2 months or so of each other right there. And it is kind of pulling back. It ran up yesterday was probably its top at 155. Today it got up to, hold on, let me see. Yesterday's top was 167. Today's was 155. So that 167 could have been its top. And it is coming out of the top there and pulling back. So we'll see if it pulls back a little bit. Maybe it can stop itself around that 110. You're going to look for it. It's at around 116, 114 right now. So see if it can. But if not, it's going to come back down, probably into the 90s or the 80s possibly. So just keep an eye on it. It looks like it wants to pull back. Hopefully it can bounce up right there, but I'm not exactly sure it will. And that's RR. And again, they do have earnings coming up on the 31st. So that one, QTUM, we looked at that one already, the Definance Quantum ETF, and that one is dipping down. That one should come back down maybe to 74, and it can catch itself there maybe. So we'll look at that to try to see what happens when it gets to that 74 area, and that's where it should get to, honestly. And it's at 77 right now. Let me just confirm that on mine, make sure it didn't do anything crazy. 79, well, yeah, there you go. It's totally different. Look, it closed at 79. This says 77, but anyway, it still looks like it's trying to pull back right there, and it'll come down a little bit more. So that is that QTUM, the Defiance Quantum ETF. And so yeah, Brandon, that may come down a little bit more on you. And that OCGN, we did that one, and again, that one did look pretty decent right there. It looks like it's trying to bounce off that bottom OCGN. So then it bounced, and I didn't see. Oh wait, yeah, this one's way down there. And so yeah, we'll take a look at OCG. We looked at something similar to that. Did we look at this one? No, we looked at something different than that. I just thought it was the same one. What was close to that? I forget what it was, but oh well, I'm not gonna go through and look. I totally forget. Anyway, who cares? Let's look at this one though. OCGN, because we definitely didn't look at it yet. I was just mixing it up with something different. My bad. And let's see, it has pulled back down here. It's back to 76. We were looking at this before, and it had run up to what 102 area, and it did pull back. It tried to get curled up right there on the December 16th, and it just didn't do it and came back down, obviously. And yeah, it's going to set back up. It's hitting that line right now. So keep an eye on it to try to get curling back up. I'm not saying it's going to bounce right up, but it should try to get set up to curl back up now. So we'll keep an eye on OCGN. We looked at that before, so we can look at that again as well. And there you go, Tesserine. There, yeah, let's see how far it'll pull back. Hopefully, it looks like it's trying to make a base down here at that 75 area, 76. So we'll see what it wants to do. Yesterday's low was 74. So hopefully that's its low, but I'll keep an eye on it for you and we'll see what's going on. And let's see what else is going on here. NLSP, we definitely looked at that one as well. So NLSP, that one ran up, didn't it? Oh no, we didn't look at this. Oh wait, hold on, I got to put the right thing in. Yes, we did. NLSP, that's at NLS Pharmaceuticals, and this does look pretty good. Was running around today 203 to 279, and it is curling back up, and they have earnings coming up on the 31st. So we did look at that bad boy right there. So there you go with that one. And let's see, what stocks with a government shutdown effect? Honestly, the only thing that really shuts down is the federal stuff. So, it's more or less, yeah, people have fear that, the government's not working properly. So, that just affects things, and people aren't the investors on Wall Street, and so to say, aren't exactly thrilled about throwing billions of dollars into things when the government don't have their shit together. So that's generally what happens. And to sum it up in some words, but yeah, it's the investors just don't feel strong enough when the government's playing like little kids and they can't figure things out. So I invest, and it usually makes things pull back. And so that's what you have to gear up for. You always have to gear up for the worst and hope for the best, obviously, and hope that they can put something together. I know they left tonight without having a deal done, so they don't have much time to try to get something together. And and it looks like Trump and Elon are pretty tough, and they should be because I mean it's ridiculous. It's crazy with just the money that gets wasted is all just nonsense all the time. And I think they're serious. They're gonna be cutting everything. So you will, like I say, you will see the market change and go down when they're doing it because they're taking money out of the economy, so to say. Not really. It's wasted money, and so once you get it and recoup it and start actually investing money that's just getting wasted on nonsense, and the way Elon thinks, yeah, you get that money back in, and you'll be paying off national debts and everything else, and then that money will be working for itself and making our taxes lower and doing what it's supposed to do for us, as opposed to just giving shit away, everything away to everybody except the people that work hard. You have to struggle for some reason, and yeah, it's just the craziest mindset ever. So yeah, you will see things pull back though when they're cutting that stuff because again, they're cutting the economy down, but it's not in a bad way. It's just a bunch of waste. So it'll be better in the long run. It just affects things right there. So I expect it to happen, honestly. I said it before a couple times. I know I've mentioned it, and we'll pick it out. It's not a big deal. Um, yeah, I mean, yesterday was just the Fed screwing things up. I mean, they're just purposely doing nonsense to try to screw things up and make it because, they have to change power. And it's so important, the political powers are and the money that's involved with it. So, yeah, I mean, just like we spoke about when they're firing that missile into Russia, I mean, they're just doing crazy shit right now in the last 6 weeks to just do anything they can to screw things up. And who has that mindset of like, yeah, let's screw up the country so that we can screw up the next person coming in? No, let's all work together to make the country the best that it can be. And that way, no matter what party gets in, it doesn't doesn't matter. The country will run smooth, but they've just been lining their pockets, stealing and lying. It's all coming out. I mean, they're just getting exposed by everything. Today, a big thing came out that they knew since day one that basically Biden was senile and he had never been a part of the running the country since day one, and they know it. And what have I said? I mean, boom, that's another one I nailed on the head. And yeah, you could just see it on the stock charts. I pointed it out many of times, and they don't lie. I mean, the money trail doesn't lie. And yeah, there was an entire agenda going on, and it backfired and blew up in their face because they got exposed, and they were trying to lie, cheat, and do everything else. And like I said, it just backfired on them. So everything they say was all for democracy. They did the exact opposite and threw Biden under the bus. They just did crazy things just to try to keep that power and money in their pockets. So it just shows you how politics works. But anyway, we're not getting into that. And boom, let's go through some laptop travel list and see what he had from last night because he had a bunch of great ones. And let's take a look at them. And GMO or SGMO, I think you did miss it, but I'll do it again for you right there, Paul. Here we go. Sangamo. I think we just did it, didn't we? Just recently. So don't worry about it. We got you again. It is pulling back, but it is good. If it pulls back, you have to watch for it to pull back to that 214 area. Let me look at it on mine again. I forget what I said. Hold on. What is it? SGMO. If I type it in. So it went 272 to 371. It ran at 99 cents. I remember saying that. And it's at 240. It's over the line, pulling back a little bit, but does not look bad. Yeah, I would think that it's going to try to bounce back up some tomorrow. And even if it pulls back, it's coming down to like that 214 area and it's setting up bullish. So I think SGMO should get bouncing some. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And I actually made a line to look at it in the morning. So I'll take a look at that bad boy SGMO. So there you go, Paul. And boom, there you go with that. And I'll look at some laptop travel ones and then we'll go through our big caps, crypto, and everything else good. And let me know if you guys want to see anything else. And we will take a look at it. So I'll just do some of the ones I marked real quick. AIMD. Let's see real quick. This one's just kind of pulling back today, but still in that channel right there. And again, that one's just kind of setting up. It ran 45 to 48 and it's at 45. So it's in that channel right there. We basically said it could do that yesterday. It had some pop yesterday and we were looking for some momentum, but it just stayed right in that channel perfectly today. So looks like that's what you're going to get for that one. And then it'll be popping. APM, let's look at that one real quick. And this one is just down there setting up right there. So this one doesn't look bad. It is setting up. So we'll keep an eye on that. And you know, some of these will be big runners really soon. They generally are. AVNW, this one's just kind of pulled back, but we'll look for that to roll off of the MACD right here because that's hitting the 20 so and it's hitting the MACD and I think it's going to, so watch that to roll off. That's AVNW. It looks like it wants to. BGI, let's see what BGI is up to. Burks Group, and this one's getting set up right here. You can see that BGI. Yeah, that one's trying to get set up. It might try to get curling up tomorrow, and just watch that one in the next few days, trading days. CFSB, and this one ran up a little bit today and is looking pretty good. CFSB, so keep an eye on that one as well because it went 670 to 682. It's at 675. It's looking pretty good to try to run up tomorrow. So keep an eye on that. CFSB, CLWT. Let me type that in. CLWT. Eurotech Holdings. This thing runs around a lot and it is bumped up today and it's definitely setting up right here to try to run some more CLWT. So yeah, it went 150, down to 140. It gapped up then because it closed at 148. It went up 2 cents and then pulled back. It's definitely setting up here. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. It's been in the channel, and then today it ended up getting over that 50 a little bit, but it still looks good to me. CLWT right there, and CNET, CNET. This one was trying to get set up, and it is just in that channel. And keep an eye on this because CNET, CNET is definitely getting set up. Is rolling up there and going to curl up and get moving. And I had that one marked from yesterday, and it is setting up FENG. This is a Feng Phoenix New Media. It's just pulling back. We'll see if it's ready to bounce off FENG. So I'll keep an eye on that. It's hitting the line right now. And what I do, just X out of something, I guess. I guess I did. And hold on, let me hop back in here. FENG, yeah, it's like I said, it looks like it's just pulling back. We'll see if it can hit that line and bounce back off. I'll keep an eye on that one. GAUZ is an Israeli aerospace and defense, and it is curling up there. It is looking pretty bullish, GAUZ. So let's keep an eye on them bad boys. Yeah, it ran up some 766 to 875. It's at 860, and it's looking pretty good right there. GAUZ. We went through them the other day, and that is looking pretty decent right there. And HOFV is that Hall of Fame resort thing, and that one's setting up, guys. So keep an eye on this because it's getting to be in a really good spot there. HOFV. And that one looks really good as well. So yeah, keep an eye on that. INTG. Let's see that one. That one pulled back a lot the other day, but looks like it is trying to get set up here again. INTG. Let me see that. INTG. And yeah, I mean, that one should get rolling off that MACD. It did look like it wanted to set up. It looks like it wants to get set up there. INTG, MTNB, just a couple more. How about MTN? That's pulling back. We'll look at that in a moment. Hold on. MTNB. Oh my goodness, what am I typing in here? I have equal signs and everything else that's not going to help me. MTNB, there we go. Matinas Biopharma, and just kind of not dipping down, just kind of pulling back at that bottom, and we'll get set up right there to get bouncing. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's just not ready yet. MTNB. And SCNI, let's see, that was down 2 cents. And look at this tomorrow because this one looks like it might want to get cruising. It's setting up in the right spot right here, guys. SCNI, you might want to take a look at that tomorrow. And SGD, that one's right there on the 20, not looking bad as well. Trying to get curled up. SGD. Safe and green development. Yeah, it's still just setting up right here. But yeah, that one's still getting ready, but that SCNI didn't look bad. SKYQ is Sky Quarry, Sky Quarry. There you go. Just setting up in a really good spot. So no, Sky Quarry will look pretty good right there. So keep an eye on that one because it is setting up. You can see it, and it will start to run up into the sky a little bit there. So or into the sky, who knows? But yeah, there's that one. ULY urgent dot ly urgently. There you go. That's like Cavino and Rich. They make Lee jokes. If you're a fan of them, you know what I'm talking about. So there you go. That just reminded me of Urgently. Boom. So that's Urgently curling up, it looks like. So keep an eye on ULY and see because that one looks pretty good that it's going to try to curl up. It's not definite yet, but it's trying to. So I'll look at it and see what it wants to do. And that is the laptop travel list from yesterday. So like I said, he's been busy from the holidays and work. So yeah, a lot of great ones right there. Like I said, a ton of good ones. They were setting up yesterday, most of them. And let's go ahead look at our crypto and everything else real quick and see what's going on this crazy market with a possible government shutdown looming and everything else crazy. Let's see what the five stories say. The news stories. Indian rupees record low puts pharma stocks in spotlight. Asian shares pinned near 3-month lows, and the dollar towers at a 2-year peak. The stock futures fall as traders await the Fed's preferred inflation reading. And let's see. The Fed's pivot delivers a reality check to Wall Street. So I don't know, but that's a couple news stories right there, and we'll go ahead and go see what our crypto's doing. It wasn't looking too hot earlier, I know that. So let's see if it changed at all. It looks like a pretty red one there, and Bitcoin's under 100,000 again. It's at 97,500.
and let's see what it wants to do. It was in that channel earlier, and it's below. It was sitting right in that channel and didn't look too bad earlier, right between that 30 and 10, but it dropped down under that 30, and that 10's probably going to curl down. We have to see if how far it wants to dip down, to be honest with you, because it's only at the 50 in the RSI, so it could come down some more from there. So we'll see what Bitcoin wants to do. It might be a good opportunity to be buying a bunch if it really dips. Ethereum back to 3,400, and let's see what it's up to here. It is. I mean, it does look like it's trying to. I mean, that's like one of them kind of wants to try to bounce up, but almost stair stepping itself down. So I'll have to look, we'll look at them in the morning. Ripples at 233, and that one is about the at least that one the 10's up there, the 30's below it, so it could hold it up. Ripple could hold itself. We'll keep an eye on it. Solana's back at 198. It was even lower. It was like at 189, I think was its low. What was its low today? Let's see. 186 it got down to. So yeah, it got down there. And like I said, you're back at 197 right now. And let's see what it looks like. I was looking at it, but didn't even tell. Yeah, it might have been its bottom, but again, it just has that possible stair step look that it could even go down lower. So we'll be watching these bad boys for sure. Doge is at 32. And that one is pulled back pretty good. And the same look as Solana, really. A lot of them have that similar look. So let's look at Sheeb and see what that did. Besides pull back and has that similar look. Oh wow, they all do. Solana, Sheeb, and Doge all have that exact same look right there. Let's see what Bonk looks like. And that's obviously down. And we'll see Bonk has that similar look too. So that bottom could be there with that big dip yesterday. But again, they could be stair stepping down. So today's look could be just a little, keep it parachuting, keep it from like keep them parachuting down from just like crashing down. So obviously we'll be watching all that. And what's that WIF? Let's look at that one real quick. It's down to 212, and that one took a pretty good beating, and that one could pull back a little bit more actually. So that one actually could pull back. And let's look at we looked at Bonk. How about that Floki real fast? FLOKI. And let's see what it's doing. And that one pulled back and has the same look as Doge and Sheeb and Soul and them couples. So we'll see what's happening with crypto. It's a little crazy right there for sure. And we'll keep an eye on it. That's, that. So we'll be looking at that. I'll be watching it tonight and into tomorrow. See if, like I said, they're trying to parachute themselves down and dip more, or are they trying to make a bottom and try to get back up there? So we'll definitely look at that, see what's happening. Let's look at the scanner real quick, see what's going on. TNXP, like I said, looks like it's curling back up. That AppTech APCX, RGTI was dipping, and QUBT, and NVIDIA was pulling back, and we're about to go through all them bad boys, and KULR and GOEV we were looking at last night. It's just pulling back a little bit, trying to set up. And that BPTH ran up, Biopath Holdings. That did run up this morning. And that TPET ran up, TPET. We were looking at that before. And that Pain, PRFX, that one was way up. And XTIA is trying to set up. MU dipped on them earnings hardcore, huh? And that was a nice dip right there. That's why I don't like earnings. And you just don't have a clue what's going to go on. And yeah, not a whole lot happening right there. Let's look at the crazy volume, see if anything's going on over here. And let's look at this one, ABP. Let's see what that's up to. ABP. Looks like it was trying to run around today. Let me pull it up here, ABP, and just see 131 to 334, and it's at 171. Maybe keep an eye on this one, ABP. It could be moving there. That's a biotech company. And TPET's CURR was another one. We were early on that shell company. There was another shell company yesterday, and I don't remember. I'll have to look it up and then see what that was. I don't even remember. Was it that PLZR? I don't think that was the shell company, was it? No, that was a biotech company. that ran up. Yes, that was that new one. I just don't remember. There was another one. I'll look it up and see. Yeah, the Shell Company. That thing was crazy. Let's see what else. That's CURR. That one went nutty. What it do yesterday went crazy too. I remember it ran up what 131 to 1214. Today 750 to 986. Um, let's see. VSTA is kind of running up a little bit, and nothing too crazy here grabbing my attention as I scroll through. Look at another page real quick. That PBM ran up today. That's at something science, biomedical. I know we looked at it a few times right here, and we looked at it after it split as well too. So that one ran up pretty good right there. And let's see if anything else looks even decent. PHIO is hitting that bottom area, so we'll look at that. And XHG, we've looked at that. And yeah, I don't see anything really crazy there. Let me go through the big caps and then I'll see what you guys want to see again. Let's look at that SPY because it did pull back. It was up today, and then it did pull back at the end. They just don't want to stay up at all. And it went from 588 to 593 and then back to 584. And that's where it's at, 584.33. And it looks like it wants to pull back a little bit more, is what it looks like. Maybe it's parachuting itself and tries to have a green day, but I'm not so sure tomorrow. And let's look at the big caps or our Mag 7 at least first. And Apple was up. Apple actually looks like it's trying to curl back up off that MACD and get moving. So keep an eye on Apple because that one doesn't look too bad. I'm not promising you anything up here, and especially what's going on, but that's what it looks like. Amazon looks like the SPY pulled back. Looks like it wants to go up, but I'm not so sure. And again, that government shutdown could dictate these. Google was pulled back a little bit, hitting some support there, but I'm not so sure it's going to hold it up and it can bounce tomorrow. So that has an interesting look right there. And again, that one probably would have ran up like crazy. Maybe it tries to roll off that MACD, but it could pull back a little bit more. And yeah, Google just has a look. It's hard to tell. And Meta, META. That one's down $1.62, and that one's just kind of pulling back. And again, it's hard to tell if that one wants to really go up tomorrow. I mean, that's market conditions. Kind of looks like it wants to pull back to me. So we'll see. And that is META, Meta. And how about Microsoft, MSFT? Microsoft pulled back, hitting that 20, and another one. They all have that basic same look here. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. Nvidia, that one did go up a little bit today, but not really. I mean, it was trying to bounce up, but it was just bouncing around for the most part. What did it do? 132 to 134, and it closed at 130. So I thought it closed lower. Stock twits or stock Finviz is saying that it's at 131.23 in the after hours. This is saying 130, and looks like it's still pulling back a little bit is what it looks like, but it is setting up to be bullish up there. So we'll be keeping our eye on that one. And of course, good old Tesla, that was down today too. It kind of tried to run up in the after hours, but not really. And I could see Tesla trying to pull back some and possibly even cross down. So we'll see how much Tesla's going to go down. It could dip pretty good right there. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. And good old AMC was up like 4 cents. This thing is set up, guys. I hope that whatever's going on and the all that stuff doesn't screw up AMC and GameStop in these because they are. AMC looks really good. GameStop is trying to set up right here and trying to look real good, GME, and it did just pull back. But like I said, it was trying to set up real nice, and Chewy was trying to set up real nice and kind of pull back. So these guys would have been taken off, it looks like. Chewy's still trying to get set up right there, so we'll see what happens with it. And again, it's just tough to tell with all the craziness going on. And let's just look at them big caps that we look at. Netflix went up like $12 today. It didn't look like it wanted to me, but it did. It bounced up. It went from 893 up to 912, and it's at 897. So it did run up a little bit and then pull back some. So that was Netflix right there. And what else do we look at? Netflix, and then we look always at AVGO, and that is at Broadcom, and that one's pulling back, and that's a semiconductor one that ran way up on the earnings. So we'll keep an eye on that. And MU took a big dip right there on their earnings. So we'll watch for that bounce when it wants to bounce there. And TSM, this pulled back a little bit, but this one could try to roll off right here. So I'd keep an eye on TSM. I'll look at that tomorrow and see if it's trying to pull back more or if it wants to roll off. It kind of looks like it could pull back more, but it's not a guarantee. SMCI was looking better earlier, and then that started to pull back as well. So that looks like it wants to dip down some more. So not a great look there. And AMD, that was pulling back some, so it got into the basement. We'll have to find when that's down there and ready to be popping back up. AMD and PayPal, that one was trying to bounce back up. It hit that support line. We'll see if it tries to get moving or not. It wants to, but I could see the market bringing it down. And that's good old PayPal. And Snow, this was trying to get moving again, but I'm not so sure it's ready to get moving. So I'd have to look at this tomorrow. It almost looks like one of them parachute down kind of deals. So Snow looks like it wants to come down like some snow. And so we will look at that one. And QCOM, that one's just pulled back down there and trying to hit that bottom. Definitely pulled back today. And like I said, we'll see what that wants to bounce off that bottom down there and get moving again. And a lot of these were trying to get set up, and that changed real quick. And so did INTC. That one came back right to the bottom. So yeah, a lot of these were setting up the other day, and then just had a different route to take now. Disney's trying to curl back up, but still trying to pull back at the same time. And the same with Oxy. I mean, this one's trying to get set up, but some reason it went into the basement. So I don't know what's going on there. And ExxonMobil also pulled back a lot more, and that's way in the basement. Hopefully that's the bottom. If not, I'm not worrying about it because I'm not in it. But I want to see when that bottom is because that's going to be a good run up too soon. So that's ExxonMobil. And that's XOM and Amara and Riot. They were pulled back, and Mara's way down there. And Riot was pulling back good bit today, too. And also MSTR, that one pulled back like $23 and pulling back. So that one could dip some pretty good amount. And CLSK was pulling back as well. So that was dipping down. And Coinbase was dipping down like $5. So all these bad boys for crypto were getting crushed right there. And DJT. That one actually pulled back a little bit too, but let's see. It does kind of look like it wants to roll off the MACD. Let me see. Yeah, we'll have to look at this tomorrow to make sure that that one's still solid. It still looks pretty good. And that's DJT. And then Fun, PHUN. This one is down a little bit and pulling back. And that one was looking great yesterday and definitely pulled back. And the same with Mountain MTN Val. That one pulled back quite a bit right there. And McDonald's, that one even pulled back, but that's setting up bullish. So we'll find that bottom pretty easy now. And Boeing, that keeps going up though. So aerospace and defense, something's up. And SPCE, this one did pull back too. And that one's, like I said, it's trying to get set up. I don't know what's going on here, but it does look like it's trying to pull back some. SPCE and good old Rivian. This one was down a little more, and so many of them pulling back, especially these big cappers are definitely pulling back here. Rivian's hitting that line in the 20. We'll see if it can bounce off. I'm not so sure it can. And let's take a look at our what is it? Hold on. PLTR, I couldn't think of it. PLTR, and that one is up, and it looks like it's trying to curl back up, but I'd be careful with this. I mean, it's an animal, and but it is curled through to going down the MACD and just kind of parachuting down, but I'm not so sure. It's hard to tell, and again, that's why I would be very careful on that one. Sophie is pulling back though. I mean, Sophie, you can tell definitely some pull back right there. We'll see how far it wants to pull back. But PLTR is still up there, and Dell did pull back there too, and looks like everything else right to the bottom. We'll see if that wants to get bouncing. And how about good old Nike? That was up. They had earnings, I believe it was today, right? Earnings today. It was the 19th, and looks like it was trying to curl up. Let's see what it did in the after hours on mine. Oh wow, 77 to 86. It's at 76. I guess it ran up and came down. I have no idea, but it looks like it's going to pull back is what it looks like on mine. So maybe it ran up and then it pulled back right away there. I'm not exactly sure what was going on there. And DXYZ, Destiny's 100. This one's actually pulling back. We might get it down here, like I've been saying. So there you go. Patience on that one. And let's look at our yin and our yang real quick and see what's going on with them. YINN, and the yin looks like it is trying to get set up right here. Now let's look at the yang too, because I mean these both have been looking like they try to get set up. The yin is trying to get set up there. Let's see what the yang's trying to do real quick here. And the yang's trying to, yeah, these two are just throwing me off completely because they both look like they want to do the yin and the yang. They both look like they kind of want to go up. I could see the yang kind of getting pushed down a little bit and the yin going up. At least at the moment, that's what they look like. But they both look like they could run off a little bit. And boil and cold, we'll look at that one real quick. BOIL. That one's up. I told you it was getting hot, guys, and it is getting hot right there. So that's cruising up. And KOLD obviously is cooling off, and that's down. So I called that one pretty good last night right there. And NUGT is the gold miners, and they've been dipping down. That's NUGT, and DUST has been going up and wants to continue. So that's the gold miners right there. And let's just look at real quick DFEN. And that's up, and that one's right down at the bottom and could be trying to get set up again. So we'll have to take a look at that DFEN. That's our defense aerospace or aerospace and defense bull 3 times. So we'll look at that bad boy and see when it wants to get rolling there. And there you go with all them guys. And we did our crypto. We got our big caps and everything else in. Let me see if you guys want to see anything else. Here we go. Let me take a look over there. Let me see on Stock Twits, see what you guys want to see on there and what's happening, what's trending real quick. Let's see. Nike's down, QBTS, AMD all down. The SPY is down, and in the after hours, it looks like it's down $1.79. So yeah, that thing looks like it's like I said, it looks like it wants to come down. They all kind of do. NVNI, what's that? Because it looks like it's going crazy right now. NVNI went nutty right there, and watch for it to try to run up some more. It ran up in the after hours, but watch this thing tomorrow. This thing might go crazy some more. It went from 44 to 719, so 44 cents to 719. So keep an eye on that. QQQ, that is down, and that PRFX is up. Intel's down. SPX is down. And CCL, I believe, is Carnival Cruise, Carnival Corp. And that one has earnings coming up on tomorrow. And I wouldn't touch that. It looks like it's trying to parachute its way down right there. So there you go. And that is our market review for tonight. And I let me see if I missed anything else. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. I think we got everything there. And there you guys go. And you know, we'll be on at 7 a.m. tomorrow to figure out what the end of the week is going to look like on a Friday with a government shutdown looming. So we'll be looking at our Jolie's jumpers and our laptop lowdowns and some crypto. Hopefully that can turn around too and look much better by the morning. And hopefully that our big caps and our market looks better, but it's not looking exactly hot at the moment. So we will be watching them, and these small caps are popping. So we'll take advantage of them bad boys and hit them opportunities. So there you go, everybody. Hope you all had a great night and enjoyed it. And thank you everybody for tuning in and helping out. Laptop Travel always for his lists and help. And Winter Mute, Scott, Louis Rodriguez, and Jennifer Lee, Bong Perchan, and Sherry, Brian, TB12, and Sinai, and Jay Kratz, Christian, and Tesserine, and so many others were tuned in. I greatly appreciate it. Let me just make sure I got all the messages. It looks like I did. Um, yeah, we looked at SGMO and that was everything right there. So there you go, guys. Like I said, I'll see you guys at 7 a.m. Have a great night, and I'll catch you in the morning for pre-market. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys in the morning.